everybody, and welcome to episode 200 of the Legacy Let's Play series, and welcome to part 2 of our world tour. Last episode, we retraced our steps from the spawn chunks all the way through our first base and many of our other builds, and today we're going to pick up and go through the other half of our world. But before we do that, I just want to take a moment and say thank you. Thank you for 200 great episodes of this Let's Play world. Thank you for all the comments and all the suggestions, and I really appreciate you all being here. We will continue building in this world occasionally, but I'm spending most of my focus on my new Let's Play series, and I'll leave a link in the description if you haven't checked that out. But without further ado, we left off up here at the temple where we first discovered the new mountains in the Caves and Cliffs update. And then we moved from the temple over to the lodge. The lodge was our first build in this new part of the world, and I based it on the movie The Shining by Stanley Kubrick. It is a mountain lodge complete with a hedge maze, and it's a really cool looking build. Like I said, I designed this with The Shining in mind. So the carpet sort of looks like the carpet from the movie The Shining. There is the gold room where we've got the bar and this nice dining hall. On the other side here, we've got our freezer. And then upstairs, we've got room 237 with that really gross carpet and that icky bathroom. We moved on from the lodge and we built a goat horn farm just down the hill, and then we started work on our tower base. And this was a massive build. It goes all the way up to build limit, and then with the beacon, it even goes farther up into the sky. We surrounded our tower with farms that were all automated and fed into the storage system, and then we surrounded it with formal gardens. The tower was designed to look like a massive Blackstone spire that went up into the sky, and then we built a deep slate structure that winds around this central column. So here on the main floor where we fly in, we have our storage room. And as we go down, we've got our super smelter. And then we go down into our library. Back upstairs, we run around this side, we start to go up, and then here there is a split where we can go into our little bedroom. Great looking little space. And if we cross over here, we've got our portal room. You have another way out here. And if we continue to wind up, we have a little bit of sky access here. And then we end up in our map room. So here we have our local map of the area. Right down here, we have our world map that we've been looking at. And then up here, we have our planning room where we would put things on the wall to make plans. Another exit here that we can fly out of. And then there's a couple more spaces just up above us. So here in this cluster, there is just a little space where we can land. Right here. And then this continues to wrap around this central column. So here we have a lodestone in this little compass room. And we have a compass in our valuables that points us back to this space. And as we continue up just a little bit more, we get into our armor trim room, where we have many of our armor trims, smithing table. And then just up above us, there's one final room. And in here, this is where the beacon is. And the very top spire. And there's just a tiny little AFK room right here where we have crafting table, bed, and a chest. Surrounding the tower, we have farms. So here we have a cow farm, got a slime farm, We have a sugarcane farm, a sheep farm, and a bamboo farm. And then off in the distance here, we have a mob farm. And there are some little AFK spaces, that sort of thing. All of these farms tie into the base and deliver all of their drops every single day. And then down below, we've got this nice big pool and then a wall that goes all the way around the whole base. And then around the base, we built these little formal gardens. There's 4 of them. This one here is another hedge maze. This one is much, much more complicated than the one up on the hill. And then in between the formal gardens, there's these little wild spaces. So here, in this little wild space, we have another Blackstone spire poking out of the ground and a little netherwort farm. And then we get to the next formal garden. And here we have a little bit of a hill, and at the top of the hill, we've got a fountain. We also got a little gazebo up here. And then in between this formal garden and the next one, little wild space. And in this wild space, we have a sniffer farm. Some Malay doing our work here. As we move out of this wild space, we get into the next formal garden. And this one is a little bit distressed and sort of turns into a picnic area. So as we come down here, you can see the path stops. And we've got picnic tables. And here you can see the water is sort of spilled out and washed away a little bit of this area here. So here, the wild area is actually this little river. And as we cross through that, get to our next formal garden, which is sort of like a sculpture garden. We have these different statues here. 4 of them in total. And then there's another little wild space. And here we have a little bit of a mining operation. So here you can see we've got mine carts go down into a little Blackstone mine. Access to our slime farm down below. And then as we cross through that wild area, we get back into this formal garden. A very, very cool space, and I'm really, really proud of this build. It was very organic, just sort of came together with a little bit of a plan and a lot of just inspiration as we went. One of my favorite base builds that I've ever done. The last thing we built in this area was a vault to keep all of our valuables. So over here on the side of the mountain, we built a little doorway with a combination lock so we could keep all of our good stuff over here. See, the combination opens this door, this very cool bridge that then leads into the main vault with all of our valuable items. And our single block of netherite. To the north and the east, we did some smaller builds. We built a floating castle on top of a beanstalk and some floating islands. And we built an outpost in our mangrove forest. We then traveled far, far to the west, and we built a jungle compound. The jungle compound was meant to be a very, very secure space inside of a very, very wild area. But I also wanted it to feel like the jungle was sort of encroaching and breaking through some of the walls. So things are very overgrown and very ruined inside. So when we fly in the front of the jungle compound, we are greeted by an aviary full of parrots. And we've got some really nice armor on display as well. When we move into the main hallway, we have this really gorgeous carpet and glass ceiling To our right, we've got a little map room with our local map, the map of the region, and then a build we did just north of here. We've got a small little storage area. We have a little smelting area. We have a really nice sunken bedroom with a 4-poster bed, bookshelves, and really nice floor-to-ceiling windows. And then around the corner, we have a little space where we can do some smithing and some potion brewing. We have our portal room, and then we have a nice balcony that overlooks this massive chasm. And on the side of the cliff wall, we built a staircase all the way down. Next door to the jungle compound, we built a little temple that actually doubles as a cooked chicken farm. Similar to the record farm at our old base, we have a skeleton over here, and then we've got an iron golem trapped down here. And as you can see, they shoot arrows at the golem, and there's just a little bit of fire right here, so the arrows end up being flaming arrows. There is a chicken breeder, and when the chickens land right down here, they end up getting cooked. Just north of the jungle compound, we found a trail ruin, and we unearthed the entire thing and created a really incredible dig site. We created a little outpost where we could hang out while we were doing all of our digging, and when we walk outside, we are greeted by this amazing view of the entire trail ruin. And we left the entire thing intact. We just removed all of the blocks around it. Next to our outpost, we have a museum where we have many of the items that we unearthed during all of our digging. All of the stained glass that we found is used in the building as well. And then over behind this ruin right here, we found a skeleton spawner. And so we created a little bit of a skeleton farm down here as well. And finally, we moved from the jungle compound down to the mushroom island. This is a massive, massive mushroom island. And we are going to use this space to turn it into an amusement park. So I'm very excited to tackle tons and tons of projects and buildings, and I think it's going to be really, really cool. There's one more spot that connects all of these amazing builds, and that is the Nether. We've built a tremendous and amazing Nether tunnel system. Thank you again for 200 amazing episodes. I really, really hope you enjoyed the world tour. Please like and subscribe if you want to follow along on the adventure, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.